The Clock King returns in Time Out of Joint. This would be his second and final appearance in Batman the Animated Series. However, 11 years later, he did show up in another DCAU program, Justice League Unlimited. The episode, Task Force X, portrayed him as a part of a top-secret team attempting to break into the jail's watchtower. As for his last go-around in this series, a science fiction element is introduced that suited him well, and made for a bit of an uncommon, superpowered story. Bruce and Dick are attending a charity auction that turns into a crime scene when a timepiece from the reign of Louis XVI vanishes out of thin air. The crowd is stunned as we see the culprit throw away the item in the back alley of the venue, calling it a trial run. The offender is none other than Temple Fugit, the Clock King. He somehow escaped his demise at the end of his titular episode and is back posing as the butler for Dr. Wakati, the father of quantum temporal theory, or the structure of time. The doctor lives in a remote location and has created a device that can slow down or speed up time relative to the person or thing it's attached to. He was hoping to use it for the betterment of mankind, but Fugit has other ideas. He swipes a few of the devices and, continuing his motivation from his first appearance, is shown to still be trying to get revenge on Mayor Hamilton Hill for making a suggestion that ruined his career years ago. When he makes his move on the mayor, Batman and Robin intervene. However, the Clock King escapes with the aid of the time control device. The dynamic duo soon put two and two together and start traveling to Dr. Wakati's secluded research facility to stop Fugit before it's too late. Alan Burnett conceived this story, while the teleplay was written by Steve Perry. Perry had 6 other writing credits on the show that included Mudslide, The Mechanic, and Terror in the Sky. His solid scripts continued with Time Out of Joint. Dan Reba got to direct this one as he continued to establish himself as a go-to director for quality installments. I'm sure the whole creative team had a good time crafting this episode. The Clock King had a really strong reinterpretation in this series after being around since 1960. Through his improved look, demeanor, and underappreciated theme, he's one of the more low-key, enjoyable villains on the show, and I think they could have used him in a few more episodes. Pushing his gimmick into the manipulation of time itself proves there was potential to have kept pushing the envelope with similar stories. Granted, this was a little more on the sci-fi end of things than they usually did on this more grounded series, but I think it could have been pulled off in a way that didn't betray the tone of the show. This episode certainly didn't. Speaking of sci-fi, the Time Out of Joint title shares its name with a novel by sci-fi author Philip K. Dick. Dick himself got the name from a line in Shakespeare's Hamlet. So I pretty much love this time manipulation concept. They don't half-ass its applications, they really push it to its full potential. Batman and Robin end up using the technology to fight back against the Clock King's plans in the climax, but earlier, Fugit attaches one of the devices to the Batmobile.
Fugit's booby-trapped the car. We're trapped in time.
Pitch-perfect line read by Kevin Conroy. You can always argue logistics with this type of stuff, but the fact that Clock King kept our heroes off his tail by literally slowing them down was brilliant. Spoilers for the rest of the installment. Batman is able to destroy the time manipulation device with his grappling hook, but when he and Robin break out of their temporal prison, they've lost 48 hours, and the Batmobile is damaged. At Dr. Wakati's research building, they discover that the old man has been frozen by one of the gadgets. Upon releasing him, they find out Fugit plans on attacking the mayor at the new courthouse's dedication. Problem is, the ceremony starts in 2 minutes. The dynamic duo take a few of Wakati's devices and speed back downtown on their bikes.
Whoa! Faster than a speeding bullet.
Clock King has attached a bomb under Mayor Hill's podium. When he christens the courthouse with a ceremonial gavel smash, it will go off, killing everyone nearby. The Dark Knight and Boy Wonder arrive on the scene, but Hill just unintentionally activated the bomb. With time around him already moving super slow, Batman sticks one of the time gadgets to the bomb and races off like the Flash. The bomb slowly explodes as the Caped Crusader runs on water and chucks it into the river, resulting in a massive splash from the underwater explosion. Just after this, Robin apprehends Fugit and the day is saved. Back at his location, Dr. Wakati decides the world isn't ready for his time manipulation tools and puts them away for good. Roscoe Lee Brown voiced Dr. Wakati here, and he did a good job for his only DCAU appearance outside of a pair of Static Shock episodes. He had a very distinct voice and was decently well known for a few roles across his career. But I know him best from the 90s animated Spider-Man series, where he iconically played Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin.
Is mankind civilized enough to make the proper use of it?
It pleases me greatly knowing that my relationship with my son is nothing like I went through with my own father.
Quick shout out to Carl Johnson, who provided a really nice musical score. He also composed the music to His Silicon Soul and the phenomenal tunes in Beware the Grey Ghost, among a few others. This was his last composition for the series. Time Out of Joint is Batmay approved. You should really see this one. There's nothing like watching Batman essentially given the Flash's powers for a few minutes. It's really cool to see him speed off over the river like that. The central idea of time manipulation is a great one, and again, it's used here in a more than satisfactory manner. Give this a chance, and those 21 minutes will go by in a gratifying blur.